Well, you said that you were going to be gone, but you never told me anything to do. You said that you were
going
to be here.
Yeah, I told you to meet with your partner.
And you never told me my partner. That was the whole problem with the Wednesday meeting. I never got any information until Abraham texted me at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Luz, what's really going on?
Well, I think that if we're taking this project serious, if we really want to help the community, we can't just be egocentric. If we put on ourselves a responsibility, then be there for the team and try to listen to everyone.
Who?
It doesn't really feel like she adds too much to anything we have as it is. It kind of feels like she's just here. She's just here to do the labor work. She doesn't add much. I'm not saying.
Langston, how can you say that last week she had so much value, so did this week Luz do nothing?
I probably just missed all. I probably just didn't see all of what she did this week.
Luz, where's this coming from?
I don't know, because we've all divided our tasks, and I worked with my tasks. I did what I had to do. I know I did try to keep up with all of them. I was there at the meetings. So I think I did the best I could give. And I think, you know, if he says that I don't add anything to the group, I think I do, because I do my part. If I don't talk over people, it's because that's my way of being. I respect what people have to say, and that's me.
I'm sorry, shorter. Well, I'm not saying that she doesn't do her fair share. She probably does a lot more than that. I was just speaking. She doesn't bring any ideas to the group.
Do you bring ideas?
No. Yeah, you know what? No. I don't add much to the group myself. I will willingly say I'm also one of the weakest, if not the weakest.
Does everybody agree that Langston's?
No. For both of them, I would disagree strongly on them being the weakest players. Like you said earlier, if there's anyone under scrutiny right now, it's the three who put the mess up there the most, which is Naomi and myself and Heaven. But that does not detract whether negative attention or positive attention that we may get, the legwork and the stuff to actually do. As a leader, and like if I were to lead, I pick these three first for who I want to be on my team, because Luz responds. Luz, I mean, she was out there just to defend her. I mean, I have to. I'll defend both of you. Luz responds. Luz
Well, but Dominic, your personality, they just do what you want, and you don't have to deal with the other two.
Not necessarily. That's not the way that I lead. You haven't seen
Dominic.
the project manager yet.
Then maybe step up and be one.
Yeah.
Abraham.
Am I supposed to speak though?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay. Evan?
He shows up to all meetings. He's always there. But he doesn't really have any input, you know, when we're talking. And we'll ask him for input, but he...
Have you guys made him feel comfortable with his speech?
I try to input as much as I can, but sometimes I just don't have anything to add to it.
Okay. Evan, who's the weakest?
I think we all are all at fault. For example,
But who's the weakest? I don't know Kumbaya today.
I'd have to say Naomi, based solely on the communication and that she wasn't there yesterday, and it was just a struggle at the end to get everything done because there was no communication that day.
Understood. Okay, so Naomi, pick two people to stay with you, and don't pick your best as Kyle did. Okay? Two people that you believe should be fired.
Langston.
Okay, so Langston, Evan, if you guys will stay here, everybody else can go. If you guys need to wait out in the lobby, we'll call you back in for the next project, okay? Thank you. Congrats.
I
really didn't hear a word from you until I asked you. And then you started talking in the boardroom. And you almost did the same thing today. I mean, you talked a lot up there. I was really asking you guys to hear your speaking voice. You're an excellent speaker. You do a great job. Are you a student here? I mean, I figured that when you were talking. I know some students do go here too, but I didn't know they went around though, but they said it. So it was almost like, you know what you were talking about, you did a great job. And what Mike means when he said you have to try harder as far as communication, if you don't understand Naomi's text message, it doesn't matter where she is. You can call her. It's more than just texting. You could call her, you could email, Facebook, you could have hunted her down. Because this is a competition. And that's kind of where you come off, Naomi, kind of strong, because I can tell you want to win. Almost with you two, I can't tell you want to win until we get here. And then with Langston, I can't tell all. You just, and you even apologize a couple of times for being honest. And it's okay to be honest. It's almost the best thing to do. Yeah, they're your teammates, and at the end of the day, they'll be your competitors too. So, that's all I have to say.
Paula, Ken, you have any comments? You were watching the presentation today?
I thought everybody did a great job. I just, you know, I'm just learning, so I will reserve more.
She'll watch it on the video later. Now, Paula's a Capone, so she comes from a family that, you know, kills people. So.
I just want to say I'm really glad that you have taken this challenge on, each one of you, because your leadership skills are being developed. Langston, I want to give you kudos and I want to give you praise for your bravery and getting up there and speaking. You did a wonderful job and continue to do that. Evan, keep pressing forward, and you will be heard if you continue to press on. And Naomi, in leadership style, when you are that leader, and you have very strong personalities, because we at Y, many strong personalities that work there. And so that listening technique is really key. And pulling out, with all your leaders, pulling out their strong talents and affirming each one of your team players.
Guys, you have to understand what we go through at the Y. I'm starting to rethink leadership meetings because sometimes I get more out of this with you all. I mean, I think some of our leaders could learn through a process much like this, where there's accountability and there's reviews after each project versus a year later. That doesn't take away from the fact that we need to fire somebody or two. So before we get into it, this is what I want to start with. Langston, you have now for 2 weeks continued to throw yourself under the bus. Do you remember me telling you last week that I don't want to keep hearing you say that you're the weakest player? Here's the deal. I like you a lot, and I think that you could learn a lot from this program, and I think that you should never give up moving forward. But the fact that you keep coming in and saying that you're the weakest person tells me that you have some room to grow when it comes to confidence, and so, Langston, right now you're fired. Okay? So know that we want you to stay involved if you want to. We want you to be a part of this. But I think that it's important that you build the confidence to talk about what needs to happen and continue to work through this. Come see us at the Y. We'll work with you. Okay? So now let's talk about the two of you. Why did you bring Evan in?
Well, I brought Evan in because I feel like he doesn't communicate well. Like, he says a lot of things, but a lot of things he says, like, they don't make sense to me. It's like,
but he's doing work, man. Every time he's done work for your group, all he has said is that he wishes you would communicate more and that he would be appreciated.
Right. And I feel like we've done better this time around.
So do you feel more appreciated?
Not at all.
Why?
We spent, what day was it, Wednesday? We spent, Dominic and I and Naomi were the main people there. Abraham and Luz were there, but I didn't notice them because that's their personality. But Dominic and I were struggling to find common ground on how we wanted to present and what we wanted to present on, and Naomi just picks Dominic.
Why do you pick Dominic?
Because it's just like Dominic makes more sense to me. Like the way he explains things and
Do you have favorites?
yes.
It comes across. You have to be careful of that. You develop favorites, but people have to realize it's not necessarily favorites, it's people you trust. I always tell people, instead of calling it favorites, just figure out that I don't trust you, and that's why I don't come. So with a team this small and this being a competition, you need to watch that. Evan's not your favorite. Why? Because he challenges you?
Well, it's not necessarily that he challenges me. It's just that he just brings a lot of confusion. You know what I mean?
What's confusing?
Confusing is just like, we'll say something and then we'll try to work it out, and it's like, no, we shouldn't do it like that. This is how we should do it. No,
You don't come across direct to me like that at all. So that's why I'm trying to figure it out.
I try to bridge the gap. I mean, the whole time I'm sitting here, Dominic has very good ideas, and I agree with his ideas. I think if we take them one step bigger and one step better, that we will win every single week. And Dominic, I think that we try to bridge our ideas together, and then Dominic has a stopping point. But I want to take it one step further so that we can win, and everyone else jumps on board with Dominic, and then Dominic is confused. Maybe it is true that I confuse people, but I try to explain it the best way I can, and at the end of the day, although some people agree with me and some people agree with Dominic, Dominic seems to always get picked. And I know I keep saying that, and I don't want to...
Well, you're like the guy, that doesn't get picked to be the quarterback, so you're whining about it, It's going to get old, and next week, probably we don't want to hear this whole, nobody pats me on the back. It doesn't happen that way. No one pats you on the back. Right? In most cases, I have kids, they don't pat me on the back. So, guys, Jordan quit. He should have been fired. We all know he should have been fired. Jordan, if Jordan's listening, he should have been fired. He knows that. Honestly, Naomi, I think that, at the end of the day, you should be fired as well. But I'm not going to, okay? Because Jordan quit, Langston's gone, you've got to buy. But I have to tell you, if you guys come back with this same show, you're probably both going to go. Because this is what destroys teams. Does that make sense? This is what happens. And I've experienced this over the last 18 years with my work in the Y in different groups, whether young or old. And this kind of stuff festers, and you've got to be good enough to address it, talk with each other. You don't have to like each other, you don't have to hang out, but the deal is that you've got to kind of start to recognize that the entire team wants to be a part of it, including Luz, Abraham. So work hard. This team, they blew you out of the water. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Presentation alone, they found a way. They found a way. They're not admitting it, and I couldn't say it with everybody in here. They found a way to make you lose. So you've got to get back what you guys had. Evan, I was glad to hear you speak. You should speak more. Smile. You did good. So I don't think it's just Dominic and Naomi.
Well, originally last week I was going to speak, and they're like, well, we should just do 2 people.
I know. You keep telling me what everybody wants from you. It's okay. Okay? You've got to figure out what you're going to do to take charge of it. Okay? You guys are both powerful players. You're very good, but your team, I think, is now at risk of losing. You think it's going to win every time. I think it has a potential of losing every time because these guys have figured out their niche. They have presented better than most of my employees. Okay? So I commend you guys for all the hard work, but you've got to get your game back. It's all about the presentation. It is. Naomi, this is probably it, unless you can figure out how to make this work, okay? So I want you guys to really concentrate on how you're going to do that.